Hello, welcome to my channel at Lady D Psychic. This will be my video on Hulk Hogan. I'm going to look at his astrology. So, what if the birth chart of Hulk Hogan already shows the rise and the fall of the biggest wrestling stars of all time? So, today we're looking at the astrology behind legend, the fame, the public persona, the family dynamics, the private struggles, and the legacy that he left behind. So, I'll also try to be tuning in intuitively to see what else I can get intuitively with the energy of Hulk Hogan as well. So today we are, when people think of Hulk Hogan, they think of charisma, strength, confidence. They think of a catchphrase and like Hulkamania and the man who became more than a legend. But his chart shows much more happening behind the scenes and beneath the surface. So let's look at the chart now, and then we'll go through it all, and then I'll see what else I can pick up from him too. So let's I do feel like I know he had went in for surgery, and I know he also struggled with back pain too, because even like now what I'm doing is I keep on hearing about back pain, and I've got a pain in my back. So when we connecting to any loved ones, we're connecting to the source of energy. When we're doing any sort of reading with mediumship, you're simply connecting to the energy of the soul for this lifetime, because the soul has had many lifetimes. So we're just tuning into that energy. But let's look at the astrology. But just as I was talking just then to you guys, all I can hear is someone telling me about their back and they had to get surgery and they're telling me about the surgery, but they're telling me about the back as well. And it was like he had to get ready for work, is what he's telling me to, or what I'm picking up is that he had to get ready for work, and that is why he had this surgery as well. Um, let's look at the chart, and we'll go from there. So we'll just share the screen and now. So let's have a look here. All right, so with Hulk Hogan's chart. Okay. Now he is a Leo, so he had Leo rising, Leo sun, Virgo moon. He's got Mercury in Cancer, Venus also in Cancer, with Mars in Leo too. So the way that people see him is very much just this big personality, the Leo being in the spotlight. I would say Leo's like this peacock energy. And it's like, look at me, here I am, like the sun revolves around them. And also too having the Leo ascending, it's like he shines as well. So with that Leo ruling, it does help him with the celebrity, his performance, visibility, the leadership, entertainment, commanding attention. Okay, having that Leo rising, and that's really brings a strong influence in that. So that famous entrance, the shirt ripping, the crowd interacting, the dynamics, the presence, all textbook with the Leo energy that he has, and that's how people see him. It's like his shield, his persona. I'll talk to more about that with the 12th house when I get to the 12th house. So at the moment I was just talking about the ascending, which is that there. So, but not only the ascending, he's a sun sign. So he is going to have this Leo personality. And I will talk more about the sun when we get to that 12th house. The moon, as part of his personality, he's going to be perfectionist. He's going to be a bit nitpicky as well. He's also wanting probably a sense of maybe even a tad of overthinking things too, but being quite critical of himself and maybe sometimes others, and wanting to get things perfect and want to get things down correctly too. He's also got the Mercury in Cancer, so the way that he thinks, there's a sense of him wanting to hide emotions here, but also a sense of him thinking like a people with Mercury and Cancer, there's a nourishment here. Like they're going to be healers. They're going to be um, the way that he's probably comfortable in his home. This is someone that can be out, be sociable, but also his home is also his sanctuary. Having that Mercury in Cancer, he is going to have a big sense of Healing and family is going to be important to him too. And very generous as well, being that Leo and that Cancer energy there with the Virgo. Even in Venus in Cancer too, the way that he likes that wholesome housewife, nurturing homemaker. Is that who he's sort of person that he's drawn to in a relationship, a female. But he's also going to, the way that he loves, it is going to be a very giving person, but he's going to probably not get emotionally involved. And I feel like sometimes he can detach. We get to this DC here with relationships in Aquarius. So there is some where he can detach a bit too, and want to hide some things as well when it comes to that as well. We'll talk more about Venus when we get to the 11th house as well. But Venus in a man's chart is how they see a female. Or that what they not how they see a female, sorry, how they're drawn to in a female as a partner. We're looking at a female's chart, we look at their Mars. So also with that ascending, um, we've got the Pluto on the ascendant there as well. So having that Pluto on the ascendant is going to magnify that this energy that he has about him. It's going to bring a bit of a dominance energy too, transformative energy where he can transform himself into different characters or different roles. It's also got power themes coming in here too because Pluto can be a sense of power and an unforgettable presence. It adds to his appearance. Also, too, having that Pluto in that this on the ascending, it can when he get angry, he can get really, really angry sometimes too. Sometimes. So when we have Pluto on the ascendant, it can often create someone who changes the room the moment they walk in. It's going to amplify his presence or the energy that he has. So in his first house here, which is you, your body, is what the first house represents. He's got the moon in there. So also having the moon in his first house, he can be quite an emotional person. Um, and I feel like that there's a sense here of him worrying about things, and I feel like worrying about family is a thing for him to actually feel, and how people are. He's also got this moon here is also going to be about his mother. So it is going to be that he's either looks similar to his mum, he has like a very similar appearance, or that he is like his mum too. So this placement also can give instinctive reactions. So connection with the public too. It helps him with this. People feeling like they know you, having this moon in this first house, and it can be moods tied to his identity. So I say that nitpicky perfectionist too. So also too, the moon in the first house can make someone relatable, memorable, becomes because emotions are worn openly through the personality. Okay, with that. And so also he can have this really sensitive side against this hard exterior when we've got the Leo energy out. Underneath that, he can be quite emotional, as I said before, with that moon in that first house. We'll get to the second house when we talk about his career, but also too, um, you might even find that he has like a nurturing vibe about him, and it may have been with other wrestlers or other people or at home. He would have been a bit of a family-oriented person, being at home and that nurturing aspect. We got that with that moon, that first house, but also having the Cancer in Venus in Cancer as well, and also that Mercury also in Cancer too. So, got here. Neptune conjunct Saturn in the third house. So the third house is the house of siblings. So it all can be about communication, about mindset, media, how you use your voice, how you speak up. Okay. Now, with him and his sibling, his brother, it's going to also be about learning patterns too, local environments as well. So when Saturn and Neptune are conjunct here, so it can show confusion mixed with responsibility in communication, serious burdens involving siblings or early environment, difficulty behind being fully understood, creating a myth through words and media, speaking through a crafted persona, private sadness behind a communication. So Saturn in the third house can also point out to a sibling who acts as a substitute parent, keeping discipline in the family, or a sibling who becomes a burden as well. With the Neptune being there, it can be a bit of a foggy energy, or that the siblings may drift apart, like a dissolving energy in their relationship. But also having these planets here conjunct can also be a sense of a problem with addictions too. So his brother could have a problem with addictions, which I believe that he did with drugs. It may also be that Hulk Hogan himself had problems with addictions too, with perhaps more like medical prescriptions. And it also too, well, we know that his brother passed away when he was younger, like a young adult, and that's where we got the dissolving energy in. There could have been problems with the siblings, the two brothers too, which I believe that there was. It wasn't a perfect relationship. So there's all these things that carry on there with that in that third house. So when we've also got so Neptune can also bring illusion, fantasy, glamour, and a bit of fog in this area as well. So when he was maybe at school, he didn't make probably may found it hard to sort of stay focused, and also hard to sort of um, learn. And I feel like this interactions there is going to be a bit murky with him at school too. He left school at an early age as well. So, together with these planets in the third house, can create someone whose words become iconic, yet whose inner thoughts may feel heavy and complicated. So, for the media personality, this can also show becoming a symbol through broadcasting, or a catchphrase as well. There's a sense of delusion there with that Neptune being there too. So let's go now. We're going to look. So that IC is in Scorpio. So when the IC is about the family, so he is probably, I don't want to say the outcast, but he's the person in the family that's a little bit out there, a little bit different, taboo, we don't talk about. He may also be the person in the family that's really big on loyalty and trust. But probably very loyal to his family as well, with that I see in Scorpio. When we're looking at the fifth house here, this is relationships and children. So Chiron is like a wound here. So Chiron in the fifth house here can be a very significant placement for him. So it does also rules performance, the fame, the children, creativity, playfulness, romance, and like being seen. So part of his wound for this lifetime, or his emotional pain, is to do with his family, his relationships, and also his children too. And I feel like, if I went back in time from in the audience, there was a time where, people weren't that happy with him. We probably could have seen it in the transits. We won't go through all those transits today. We're just going to look at more at the chart and more at the transits of when he passed in July of last year, 2025. So that's his wound, that's his pain for this lifetime. It can be a sense that he maybe was never happy in certain relationships as well. That could also be a thing for him. Interesting enough, the sixth house, we've got the North Node in the sixth house. So this placement is very interesting in his chart. The sixth house is a house of health. It also can be about being of service. So having the North Node here can mean discipline over chaos. It can mean structure over escapism. So service over ego, health awareness, mastery through reputation, building success through your daily habits. So we also got here, so he became famous for the six house themes. He also had like a very big discipline in his training, scheduling his tour, repetitive work, maintaining through the public eye as well. with being an Aquarius. So he was here to learn about not only health, but he was here to also be of service to communities, to people. But also a humanitarian aspect there as well with the work that he did do with children. So this is all part of his life lesson with this North Node in Aquarius in this sixth house. So he was meant to be in the public eye, especially with that Leo personality as well, with the ascending, the sun there, and with this node being here in this sixth house. So, so we saw Hulk Hogan had his node in the sixth house. His soul is to his soul's growth path is not just about discipline or work. It's about learning to use the. It's about all about learning to use work, service, and daily effort in an Aquarian way. So doing things differently, being a bit, and even such a thing like being a bit quirky, being different, being quite independent too. It's all part of his life lesson being here. So I said before with relationships that he would have detached a bit with this DC in Aquarius. And when we go up here to that 10th house, so the midheaven is to do with his work. He's in Taurus. We got also Virgo is also ruling his second house here. So it's funny. The Tauruses are good with like luxury, arts, housing, money. And before he was a wrestler, he was in a band, which fits the Taurus energy too, and also about detailing, being perfectionist. It also fits the Virgo, but so does wrestling too. So, also he needs his career is about money, being consistency, having a big identity, having commercial success. So he's someone that needed to have a stable career, and he needed to build that. He also needed to be involved in different businesses, different business adventures, but also emceeing Taurus. But it's like an art. And if you ever think about wrestling, if you are a wrestling fan, it is like an art. It's a storytelling too. So it does fit in that. He also needed to have that physical upkeep too, which goes with that sixth house with that North Node in there. Like his health would mean a lot to him and the way that he looks. So he was destined to be having a stable career, a career where he earns wealth, a career where he has a certain persona too. Also, he's got Jupiter in this 10th house as well. So that's like he lands on his feet. So even when, sometimes things are down, he'll always get a job or somewhere. Something's going to come in for him. It's like Jupiter's the planet of luck. So for his career, he had this luck there. And we can definitely see that. So when we look at why wrestling in the chart, so we've got the Leo performance, the Pluto there on the ascending brings in the intensity. The Taurus MC brings in like the body, his branding as well comes into that. With the Virgo, be very detailed on his training and what he does, regimented every day to get the look that he did, as well like in detail too. Even his look about him, it's very certain details that he had that he kept, like the mustache, the hair, the bandana. It was very big on how he looked, you know. So having that moon in the first house, that public connection. And then and also too, having that Saturn at third, that can also create issues with people too, in terms of public persona. So with this 11th house here, we've got Venus and we've got Uranus. So he would like quirky people as friends, people who are a bit different. You got Venus here as well, so he would love his friends. And because they're in Cancer, even though Gemini rules his 11th house, and we can see that too. I mean, he would be very social, need to be a very sociable person as well, with his friend element with his friends and go out and have fun and have a talk about like many probably very different conversations when he comes with his in a circle of friends too. But his friends are like his family, which having because he's got a lot of Cancer also ruling the 11th house because it's got planets in there. And the way that he finds love would be through friends too. So the way that he perhaps found partners would have been somehow through friends. As I said, he also likes people who are a little bit different, a little bit quirky as well. So also having this Venus and Uranus in 11th house is a very strong signature for someone like Hulk Hogan because the 11th house rules fans, audiences, networking, groups, popularity, social reach, and cultural movements. And he had a big, his cultural movement, it was a bit different, unusual, and we see that with that Uranus here as well. So in this 12th house, this is where you hide things, okay? So he would be someone that would hide behind his persona. I say that because when we have the sun, I am also a 12th houser. I have my son's also in my 12th house. When the sun's in 12th house, it's like you sort of hide and it's like you're kind of hidden. So like for me when I do my psychic work, when I'm out at fairs, I get dressed up. I have like a persona. It's part of my branding. So he would be the same. He would also, even though I said before he could have a temper, he would also hide his temper as well with Mars being in the 12th house. His communication also could be hidden too. He's also and it might feel like sometimes there's like an energy as well with all these planets here being here in 12th house. He also brings karma from a past life into this life to do with the father, with the son being there. Mars likes to be aggression or strength, communication too. Um, so that Pluto, the energy of Pluto could also roll into that 12th house, which means he brings like power, like the energy of sort of power from past life into this life too. So he brings a lot of past life karma coming into this life. Also, too, having the sun in this 12th house, it can be that the father is absent. So it can mean that maybe emotionally or physically absent. It can mean that the father was difficult to understand. There could be a sense here of the father being quite private, secretive, withdrawn, too. It can also mean that the child feels disconnected from the father's identity as well, having the sun here. And there can be a relationship with the father happens more behind the scenes than out in the open. So sometimes the father is presented but emotionally unavailable. Sometimes it is just like they're not there, or it also can mean that the parent could die when you're younger as well, having that being there. So he had a lot. And so I say that part of him would also like to be sort of isolated at home because we've got all these planets in this 12th house too. Okay. So also, um, he'd be someone that would definitely would need that persona to be able to go out there in the spotlight and have that and turn it on, turn it up. So you're dealing with these two sides of the person, and that's how he's able to go out into the public and do it because he'd be more of an probably more, even though he's a Leo, there's a lot of energy here that's more introverted than extroverted. So he needs that persona, he needs that personality to help bring him out too. So when he'd also be someone who has a lot of private thoughts as well, and he would hold secrets too. People who have planets in his 12th house can also have a lot of secrets as well. Probably got a little big intuition too with him having those planets there too. So let's see with the transits. And also, he also might be passive aggressive in when it comes to arguments too, or the way that when he does get angry. But also too, what's going to make him angry with this Mars in Leo? If someone is sort of bruising his ego, that's going to make him angry. He also has a lot of inner frustrations in himself as well. Um, so he uses his strength behind the scenes too. There also can be a bit of self-sabotage there as well with him too. Okay. Now, when we look at how he passed. The big thing I noticed when he passed is, and it's this here, the Pluto over the North Node was there right when he passed. So, as I said before, sixth house can be health. So he would have had health issues and his body would be getting really run down. I feel like there's more than just the back issues. I feel like there was issues with his neck too. And I also feel like there's issues with his feet or foot. I want to go right foot. I also feel like that at times maybe his breathing was a little bit off as well. And I feel like he maybe felt like that his body was sort of failing him too. So Pluto in this sixth house can indicate health issues. And I do feel like there's a lot of pain that he was in as well, even like around the side, there would have been a lot of pain that he was in. But Pluto over the node here a a big moment in someone's life. It can be a change in, life lesson. It can also be about a major health transformation as well. It can be a karmic um, it can be a karmic thing a karmic energy that happens through the body, a destiny point activated. So it's a profound life chapter closing. So in his life, this has created him to pass. Okay, when that happened. And that would have been the nail in the coffin with him. I feel like he wasn't happy. He would have been losing money as well. So when we got with the Neptune, it's not actually. He's lucky that it's not been opposing. Lucky there. Having the eight in the eighth house, but money from other people, and so having that Neptune and Saturn there would have been some money problems. With Neptune there would have been dissolving the money, so maybe less business deals coming up and money being a little bit more tight for him, especially the Saturn being there as well. If I went back a couple of years, that's when he would have had problems with people too, perhaps with the public persona. Because we had Saturn going, even when it came down here, like, because later in life he had a lot of problems with the public, and I think that was been more the Saturn energy as it moved through these houses down here. Also, he had Pluto go through that fifth house, so that would have been problems with people as well. Now he's got Chiron, and like we can see that, like I know that when he went through his divorce, he lost a lot of money through that, and that would have been, I feel like, more with the Chiron going through that eighth house when it would have that's when that roughly would have gone through the eighth house. Again, that would have been problems with money. So a lot of issues with money later in life for him. Now with his work though, which would have been helping him, he had Uranus going through his 10th house, the career. So he would have had unexpected opportunities coming up for him for his career, even though there was money issues. The Uranus would have helped him and would be bringing in different opportunities when it comes to his work. He also had Jupiter over Venus. That would have been positive things. That could have been to do with anyone that he loved, like his children, wife. It also could have been a money opportunity as well. And that probably would have happened before, obviously, before he passed. It can't happen after he's passed. But I feel like that's maybe to do with one of his children with that, I feel. But we won't know for sure because he's not here to confirm it with me, or only, as I said, the energy that I connect to. So when if we went back, so the year before he passed, and Jupiter in the 10th house, that also would have been a good opportunity for him for work. And I feel like he had opportunities coming to him. I feel like that he had liked to do with bar or beer. I feel like there was opportunities there with him, and that he would have liked what he was doing. And I feel like the work was probably picking up for him again with Jupiter in the year before, with Jupiter in that 10th house. He had Mars going through the second. Could be that may not affect him that much. The last couple of months before he passed, he probably would have been frustrated, and even in the home with Mars going through that 10th house too. It's just very interesting of the chart. and especially that when you can see it, what happened, where the planets were when he passed too. But this is a man that I feel like really misses his children, and I feel like that he wished that they could all come back together. And I do feel like behind the scenes um, there is arguments. I feel like that his son is not telling the whole truth to his his daughter. I feel like that there is a it's like the son, I feel like, wants to keep things to himself and not wanting to share everything with the daughter. And I feel like that these things will change. And I do feel like that out of the two children, the daughter is more business minded. She's the one who's got more smarts. She's the one that's going to outdo the brother. I feel like that the brother is sort of riding on his father's coattails. And I do feel like that he's going to end up with not a lot of income, not a lot of money as well. I also kind of feel like his wife is a bit of the ex-wife of the children, opportunist as well with him too. And I don't think that he's quite happy with how that's all planned out either. And I also feel like that um I feel like number one was like it was his health and his family, and I just feel like he's very sad to do with when we come to grandchildren as well. But you can see how that Chiron, that wound, affected him in his life when it comes to his children and his relationships too. But I really feel like he was focusing on making the money. So I feel like that the reason why he had this surgery was to do with getting himself in a right from a mind, or his body in a way. Because I feel like that we're looking at making more money. I'm not too sure what he'd be doing, but I feel like it's about his work too. He's also feel like that he kind of felt a little bit stuck, but also very frustrated. That's the energy that I get from him too. But I just know that he adores his daughter, and that's saying that she is the good one, or she's the one that is going to, I feel like, have the better career over the son. And I just feel like he's not happy the way the dynamics, the way that everything is with everybody too. And I kind of feel like that also with him, they've cut a lot of out. Is that documentary they've got on Netflix at the moment? I've really finished watching it, but I feel like there's a lot of things that they've cut out and that is on the floor, and there was things that he wanted them to include, and I feel like that they've edited. I feel like that they've edited some of the people in there to look really good when um, it's not the whole. It's not the whole story either. That's what I kind of feel. Was what I'm hearing. But this is also a man who's also all about his fans, and I do feel like he's a very caring man, generous man. Um, but he also needed a lot of help, but he was also too proud to also ask for help as well. That's what I feel. But we'll leave it there. So Hulk Hogan's chart shows someone born to perform, built to become a brand, and emotionally connected to the public, while carrying a deeper inner complexes behind the scenes. The contrast is often what creates the legend. So, do you think Hulk Hogan's chart was designed for fame? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more celebrity astrology breakdowns. Also, let me know if you want to do someone else's chart. There was someone's chart I was thinking today, which might be interesting to look at, and I can't remember who it was now. I thought it'd be interesting to look at, and that was someone else who'd passed away too. I'm sure I'll remember it again. Um, thank you for your likes, shares, and your comments. And I will see you for my next video. So bye for now.